Hey guys, in this video we'll be continuing with the Python videos. We'll be going over returning a list. We'll be doing another example. So we'll just start the code. So we'll just have a main function here. We'll have a line that says just a scores variable points to get scores, so we'll have to create get scores. Then we'll have another one, total points to get total. So we'll probably just come back to this. So we will look for, so we'll be working with, let's work with get scores. So let's move to that function. So we have scores points to get scores. So we'll just start writing the get scores function. So that way you're not wondering what the code's doing. So we'll just have here def get scores. No parameters. So we'll say test scores points to an empty list. So having again string points to a lowercase y. So then we'll have while again is equal to lowercase y, or again is equal to uppercase y. Then we'll just have a value or val points to float casted to the input function. We'll say enter a test score. So enter a test score, and then we'll say test. Do we have test scores? Yes, we'll have test scores. Dot append val. Then we'll print, do you want to do this again? Or do you want to add more test scores? So then we'll have again str. Did I probably mess that up? So okay, so we have str. I'll just add str to them. So again, str points to input. Enter y. So yes or no, basically. Whoops. Yes or no. New line, and then we'll have just a print. You can just print a new line. Like that. Alright, so what's the problem here? We're missing a shift semicolon. I think. Missing a shift semicolon. Two more things. Always spell that wrong. I always spell that wrong, so we'll just fix that. Well, again, okay, that should be that fine now. No, there's three more left. Three more errors. Where is it? Well, again, str points to lowercase y, or, okay, this one's spelled wrong. Val points to casted float input. So here we go. Okay, so it should be val or val. No, it should be val, I think. Alright, so what else is the problem here? Maybe I should just click and check what it is. Indent expected on line 2. Okay, yeah, so it's waiting for some information here. It's always best to do these first and come back to main. Excuse me, so it's always best to create these first and then come back to main. That way you don't wonder what the error is, if there's an outstanding error. So after all of that, we'll just return the list. So we will get out of the indentation, and we'll return the list. Test scores, I guess. That should be it. So after that will be, let's do the get the drop lowest score function. So let's do the get total function, so we'll have another function called def get total, so we'll just get out of this one. Def get total takes a parameter, takes a list, okay, so it takes a value, takes a vals list, I guess. Don't need to put the type here. If this was another programming language, you'd probably have to put an array type here like that to tell the compiler that it takes an array, but in Python you don't need to because it's just on the fly basically. Either way, doesn't really matter. Same thing. Basically it takes a vals list, which can be anything in Python, but in other languages you have to specify what the parameter is if you're wondering. If you're learning Python and thinking about getting onto other languages, wouldn't be a bad idea. So now we have, so here we'll just create a variable called total, which points to 0.0. Now we'll have for val in vals list. Basically it's going to loop through the list, index by index, starting at index 0. We'll say total plus equals, which means total points to total plus num. Do we say num? No, we called it for val, okay. I'd actually like to just increment this, call it I. I'd probably just like to keep it as I. The total plus equals I. Then we'll have, that should be it, return total at the end, which is a float. Since there's no types, it would have maybe been in Python. You could just name your types in the variables. Like here I have it's an str. We could maybe put it that it's a float here, whatever you want. If I was probably coding this into a project, I'd probably do that. Or maybe have just called it val, total val or something, whatever. Alright, so now let's call, excuse me, so we'll call the main function. We'll go back to main, hopefully there's nothing else missing. So we have scores points to get scores. Then we'll have total points to get total, which takes in a scores parameter. So total points to get total. We already call get total, no. So scores points to get scores, and then total points to get total passing in scores. Okay, so we already have that. Then we'll have lowest points to min. I think it's a function that returns the min value of a sequence. We'll pass in scores, or just, yeah, so just some kind of set of numbers. It doesn't give us definitions in here, does it? In pycharm. There probably is a way to do it. Get definition. You don't have a get definition, do you? Actually, okay, it does tell us, I think. I don't know if you can see this. I don't think you can. It says def min built-ins at overload, okay. So it's overloaded function, which means that it can take different parameters. 1, 2, 3, 4, for example. So for example, we'll go over this later, but one function can take one parameter, one other function can take two parameters, but they're all called min, which means that it's overloaded. So it says that, it's disappearing here. With a single iterable argument, return its smallest item. The default keyword only argument specifies an object to return if the provided iterable is empty. With two or more arguments, return the smallest argument. So I think we did a little bit on iterables in the beginning. Sorry, I just hit the mic by accident. Well, I think we'll be continuing them later. If not, if we haven't already gone over the whole thing already, I kind of forgot how much we did. So pretty much after that, we'll just have, so after the min, we'll have total minus equals lowest. So average points to total divided by the len function passing in scores minus 1. And I have a bunch of errors here. Great. Get. Whoops, okay, so scores points to get scores. scores points to get scores, and then total points to... Did I erase something? So it should have been get total passing in scores. Total points to get total passing in scores. I don't know what this is. So scores points to get scores, total points to get total passing in scores, lowest points to min passing in scores. Total minus equals lowest. Average points to okay, that should be fine. What's happening now? Line 20. Okay, there should be a snake eyes there. Okay, so that should be fine now. And finally, we'll just print out a message to the user. The average with the lowest scores dropped. With the lowest score dropped is we'll comma pass an average. So we'll pass an average here. That should be it. Alright, so let's just run this code. I don't think we need to step through it. We just stepped through the last one. Pretty much the same thing. So I'll just do a quick explanation. So scores is going to point to get scores. It's going to jump into get scores here. It's going to create a list, create a string to control the loop. Check if that string is y. Enter a test score. That test score gets added to the list. You want to add another test score. It's gonna, let's say we have a bunch of them, 1, 2, 3. It returns that list. 2 scores. Now total points to get total is gonna pass in that list. So this time we returned a list. So like last time we returned a list. This time we return the list and pass the list again to the next function, which is get total. Now this function takes a list. It's going to say create a variable here, total points 0.0. It's going to iterate through the list, starting at index 0. It's going to add up the values 1, 2, 3, return 6, I think. Lowest is going to point to min, so it's going to return the lowest value. Total is going to point to total minus the lowest score. Average now the total and return the average. That's pretty much it, so let's just run the code and see what happens. Enter a test score 1, y2, y3. Hit N. The average with the lowest score dropped is 0.66667. So whatever that is, if the math is correct, you guys got the idea. There should have been brackets around that. But that's okay, so we guys get the idea. We passed the list to the get scores function. Sorry, we returned a list from the get scores function, then we passed that same list back to the get total function, which we then did a calculation on. So that should be all for this video. Yes, we did get scores, get total. So we'll probably just end it there. In the next video, we'll be working with lists and files. So hope to see you there. Thanks for watching. If you guys like the video, you can subscribe and like and subscribe to the channel if you like, and I'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching.